Hello everyone. In this video, I will tell you about maxillary first molars. Let's first start with general features of molars. Molars are the largest and most posteriorly located teeth. Since they erupt distal to the deciduous dentition, they are not considered succedaneous teeth. Molars are the first as well as the last teeth to erupt in the permanent dentition. The first permanent tooth to erupt is first molar, whereas the third molar is the last permanent tooth to erupt. There are 3 permanent molars per quadrant, that is first, second and third molars. So in total there are 6 permanent molars per arch. All the molar crowns converge from buccal to lingual, that is the buccal surface has a greater mesiodistal dimension except maxillary first molar. In maxillary first molar, the lingual side is wider than the buccal side. All the molar crowns taper from mesial to distal. So, the buccolingual width of the mesial half is greater than the distal half. The mesiopalatal cusp on maxillary molars and the mesiolingual cusp on mandibular molars are longest or tallest cusps. The mesiopalatal cusp in maxillary molars and mesiobuccal cusp in mandibular molars are the largest cusp. So in maxillary molars, the mesiopalatal cusp is tallest and largest, whereas in mandibular molars, the mesiobuccal cusp is largest and the mesiolingual cusp is tallest. The maxillary molars have evolved from a tritubercular tooth, that is, the maxillary molars are said to evolve from a tooth which has 3 cusps. The mesiopalatal, mesiobuccal and distobuccal cusps are the primary cusps and their arrangement is described as a primary cusp triangle. The distolingual cusp is the 4th cusp and it has evolved in human beings, so it is called a secondary cusp. The cusp of Carabelli may be classified as a accessory cusp. All the molars develop from 4 or 5 lobes. 1 lobe for each cusp, that is, 1 cusp will develop from 1 lobe. So the 5 cusp first molar develops from 5 lobes and a 4 cusp second molar will develop from 4 lobes. Let's now go to some unique features of maxillary first molars. The first molars are located at the center of the fully developed adult jaw antero-posteriorly, and thus they help stabilize the dental arch, and for this reason they are also considered cornerstones of the dental arch along with the mandibular first molars. The maxillary and mandibular canines are also called the cornerstones of dental arch. First molars are also called 6-year molars due to their timing of eruption, that is, they erupt at 6 years of age. It is the first permanent tooth to erupt. The maxillary first molar is the largest tooth in human dentition. So there is no other tooth larger than the maxillary first molar. As already explained, maxillary first molar is the only molar to show a lingual crown divergence. It has a maximum faciolingual crown dimension of all the teeth, and the cusp sizes can be graded from largest to smallest as mesiopalatal, which is the largest cusp, followed by mesiobuccal, then distopalatal, then distobuccal, and then finally cusp of Carabelli, which is the smallest cusp. All maxillary molars have 3 roots. The palatal root is the largest and longest root amongst these 3 roots on a molar. The palatal root of maxillary first molar is also the largest and longest molar root in maxillary arch. So in maxillary arch, amongst all the molars, the palatal root of first molar is the largest and longest, while the distobuccal root is the smallest and shortest of the 3 molar roots. The maxillary first molar is the only tooth with a pronounced distal crown concavity at CEJ, and this may make scaling in this area difficult. The dimension of root trunk on the mesial side is about 3 mm On the buccal side is about 4 mm and on the distal side is about 5 mm. Now compare this to the root trunk of mandibular molar, where the facial root trunk is about 3 mm and the lingual root trunk is about 4 mm. Let's now go to the buccal aspect of maxillary first molar. The mesiodistal crown dimension is greater than the cervicoincisal crown dimension. The crown outline from this aspect and lingual aspect may be described as trapezoidal, with the shorter of the unequal sides towards the CEJ. From this view, both buccal and mesiopalatal cusps are visible. So both buccal cusps, that is mesiobuccal, distobuccal, and mesiopalatal cusps are visible. The mesiobuccal or the mesiofacial cusp tip forms an obtuse angle, while the distofacial cusp tip forms a right angle, that is a 90-degree angle. The buccal developmental groove on the crown is almost midway between the mesiobuccal and distobuccal line angles. That is, mesiodistally it is almost in the center. The mesial outline of crown is relatively straighter, while the distal outline is more convex. The mesial contact area is at the junction of occlusal and middle third, while the distal proximal contact is in middle of the middle third of the crown. From this aspect, all the three roots are visible, and as I have already said, palatal root is the largest and longest, while the distobuccal root is smallest and shortest. The buccal root trunk has a deep developmental groove. The distobuccal root has a relatively sharper apex than the other roots. The facial roots are within the crown outlines, and the arrangement of facial roots often resembles the handles of a plier. Let's now go to the lingual aspect of maxillary first molars. From this aspect, slight or no proximal sides are visible, as the lingual surface is broader than the buccal surface. Only lingual cusps are visible from this view, as the lingual cusps are higher than the buccal cusps. The mesiopalatal cusp is the largest and tallest cusp. Mesiopalatal cusp tip forms an obtuse angle, while the distolingual cusp is spheroidal. The cusp of Carabelli can be seen on the mesiopalatal cusp, and it is separated from the mesiopalatal cusp by a fifth cusp groove. So this is a developmental groove, the fifth cusp groove. Cusp of Carabelli is approximately 2 mm cervical to the cusp ridge of the mesiopalatal cusp. So cusp of Carabelli never reaches occlusion. All the three roots are again visible from this view, and the angle between mesial surface of the crown and the mesial cusp ridge of mesiopalatal cusp is about 90 degrees. The palatal root apex can be seen to be directly aligned with the mesiodistal crown center. So the apex of palatal root is aligned with the center of the crown. Let's now go to the mesial aspect of maxillary first molar. The faciolingual crown dimension is greater than the occluso-cervical crown dimension, and the crown outline from proximal aspect is same as that from the facial or lingual aspect. So from all the four views, buccal, lingual, mesial and distal, the crown outline appears trapezoidal. Only mesial cusps, that is mesiofacial and mesiopalatal cusps, are visible from the mesial side, as they are higher than the distal cusps. The mesiopalatal cusp is on line with the long axis of the palatal root, and the mesial marginal ridge may sometimes show a supplemental groove. The facial crest of curvature is in the cervical third, while the lingual crest of curvature is in the middle third. So for almost all the molars, the facial crest of curvature is in the cervical third and the lingual crest of curvature is in the middle third. Only two roots, that is the mesiofacial and the palatal roots, are visible from this aspect. Palatal root appears longer but narrower than the mesiofacial root from this aspect. The lingual outline of the lingual or the palatal root extends beyond the lingual outline of crown. The mesiofacial root has a developmental depression. Let's now go to the distal aspect of maxillary first molar. The crown outline, as I have already described, is same as on the mesial aspect. Most of the buccal surface of crown is visible, and this is due to distal taper of crown on the buccal surface. Now, since the distal marginal ridge is more cervical as compared to the mesial marginal ridge, occlusal surface visibility is more from distal side as compared to the mesial side. Small concavity may be seen in the root trunk near the distobuccal root. All the three roots are visible as the distobuccal root is smaller than the mesiobuccal root. Let's now go to the occlusal aspect of maxillary first molar. The crown outline appears rhomboidal with two acute and two obtuse angles. The acute angles are mesiobuccal and distolingual, while the obtuse angles are distobuccal and mesiolingual. The facialingual crown dimension is greater than the mesiodistal crown dimension, and the facialingual dimension is greater on mesial half of the crown as compared to the distal half. Now please notice here that more of lingual surface as compared to the facial surface is visible from the occlusal aspect, and all the five cusps are visible. The distolingual cusp, which is the secondary cusp, progressively becomes smaller from first to the third molar. The mesial proximal contact is in facial 1/3, while the distal proximal contact is in the center of the crown faciolingually. There are two major and two minor fossae. The major fossae include central fossa, which is roughly triangular and on the mesial side of the oblique ridge, and distal fossa, which is roughly linear and it is on the distal side of the oblique ridge. The minor fossae include mesial triangular fossa and distal triangular fossa, and these lie inside the mesial and distal marginal ridges. The oblique ridge can be seen crossing the occlusal surface obliquely. It is most prominent in maxillary first molar and becomes progressively smaller from first to third molar. The triangular ridge of distobuccal cusp and distal cusp ridge of mesiopalatal cusp unite to form the oblique ridge. So oblique ridge is formed by distobuccal cusp and mesiopalatal cusp. The transverse ridge is formed by union of triangular ridge of mesiobuccal cusp and the triangular ridge of mesiopalatal cusp. So mesiobuccal and mesiopalatal cusp form the transverse ridge. There are 6 developmental grooves on the maxillary first molar, and they are the central groove, facial groove, distal oblique groove, lingual groove, transverse groove, and the 5th cusp groove. So these are the 6 developmental grooves. Stewart's groove is the groove between the two triangular ridges of the mesiopalatal cusp. Now as you can see, there are multiple supplemental grooves on the occlusal surface of this molar, and the mesial marginal ridge is longer and more prominent than the distal marginal ridge. So that was all about the maxillary first molar. I will see you soon with a video on remaining maxillary molars. Please do like, comment and share this video if you find it helpful. Thank you.